if I'm trying here and I'm up here and I'm coming against here, I'm going to spend all this time. No, I'm trying to go the other way because the blade of grass goes this way.
Man, this is getting good. Everybody get another bag of popcorn.
This is the golden moment. I would do business with you right now.
Welcome to 10X Owners Live. We are happy to have you. It is Tuesday night, which means we get to spend the next hour talking with business owners around the globe about all things scaling, growing, and how they can 10X their businesses.
Let's go 10Xing our business. How about we 10X our personal, professional, and financial success?
Sign me up. I'm ready. Who's ready to 10X their personal, professional, and financial success? Put 10X in the chat if you're ready, because we're ready. We're on fire over here. We've been talking all day about you guys. It's our favorite night of the week, Tuesday nights, when we get to connect with each and every one of you and share what's working, successes that people are having so that you can duplicate that inside your business. You can scale and grow and really develop your leadership skills, which is something we're going to be talking about a little bit later tonight. With that, Brandon, why are you qualified to talk to these people on this Tuesday
Before
evening?
I answer that, can I say how many first timers there are on here?
Yes.
Can you put first time, put just a 1 ST or 1, or type in 1? Just wondering, 20 second time. There you go. First time to this show.
Oh my gosh. Welcome.
All right. Awesome. All right. I'm Brandon Dawson. It is wonderful having all of our first timers on here.
You're doing it for them.
I'm doing it for you. I'm a serial entrepreneur. Took my first company public at 29 years old, acquired over 130 businesses, franchised 1,000 locations. Then I started my last business I sold, grew it using the same methodologies, the same systems, the same programs we teach every single day, grew it with no outside capital, no debt. Built it up, generating 50 million of profits, working with hundreds of independent business owners, crushing it in their businesses. Sold it for $151 million, 77 times EBITDA, to $1 billion company, then took the $1 billion company to $4.5 billion with a team of people. And then we launched 38 months ago with Grant Cardone at Cardone Ventures, bringing all those tools, all those resources, all those methodologies to individuals that want to grow and scale and create maximum value in their businesses. And in 36 months, we've generated a business that next month will have done $100 million in revenue and generated over $40 million of profits, with an enterprise value at the end of this year of over $500 million, with no money invested and no debt, teaching $1 billion worth of business owners how to do exactly the same thing right now.
You want to know one of my personal, professional, and financial goals? It's for the business owners who work with us to be able to have the same amount of confidence and the same story, but their own version of it to tell when introduced on a live show or on a podcast or for an interview. Like our true mission is to be able to equip you with the things that you need in order for you to do great things, in order for you to do 10X things, because we believe that if you're investing in yourself, you're here on a Tuesday night, it's likely after work for you. You've already had a hard day. You've already put in hours. If you're here to develop yourself, what we know about you is you're just like us. You are fighting to win. You have a target. You're working on yourself. You're becoming better. You recognize that there's opportunity for you. And so if we were successful, our success would look like the business owners on this call having these incredible stories of how at 30 years old or 60 years old or 85 years old, they were able to do these remarkable things because they listened, they learned, and then they went out and actually executed. So that's one of my goals that I'd like to share.
And I agree. In fact, I just shot a podcast.
The B. Dawson Show.
B. Dawson
He has a podcast. It's called The B. Dawson Show. It's freaking awesome. If you do not listen to his podcast, you should subscribe like right now.
She's a great promoter. So
it's the best.
So look, so I just interviewed a gentleman. I shot about 20 hours of content on how to buy a business with no money. And I talk about how to do these things and shot so much content. It's probably the most thorough thing Grant and I have ever done together. Because there's a wave of about $10 trillion worth of businesses that are going to transfer over the next 6 years from baby boomers that don't have an exit strategy. And it was such a great podcast because he went to work for a business owner, worked there for 2 or 3 years. And the business owner didn't have an exit strategy. So sold him the business, financed the business, and gave him working capital, left it in the business. And that business is going to do $25 million this year. And he's 26 years old.
26
years old, and he's going to do
old.
25 million. What I can tell you guys is it is so inspiring to me to meet all these people that are part of this 10X community that are doing things that the real world doesn't even think is possible.
Mhm.
Like
No one's telling you that this is possible.
no one is telling people this is possible.
Mm-mm.
And when I look at everything we're doing in the 10X brand, in the last 36 months and all the programs we launched and the TV show or the production studios that we've launched, the people we're getting ready to feature and their success stories. I've never been more excited than I am today. I mean, there's just so much great stuff happening. We flew yesterday, we jumped on the plane with 10 of our team members and we flew up to Bakersfield, California, because we're acquiring a business there in the HVAC space.
Mm-hmm.
I have personally sat across the table from $340 million of HVAC owners in the last month. Think about that, just in the last 30 days. And we're choreographing and working together on how to come together.
Mm-hmm.
Collaboration is the new currency. And we're doing it in the health space. We're doing it in insurance. We're doing it in wealth management. We're doing it in dental. We're doing it in chiropractic. We're doing it in eyes. We're doing it like you think about it, we're doing it. And so that's something. In fact, I just want to say before we get into the show tonight,
Mm-hmm.
if you're in the healthcare space and you want to know what a 10X franchise could look like, 10X Health franchise, or if you're a consultant, a business advisor, a CPA, a business broker, a coach, and you want to learn the new program we're rolling out at the end of July, our 10X Business Advisor program, that is in addition to being a Grant Cardone licensee. So it's on top of the licensee program. That's where we've created and curated a bunch of our business programs that you can take out to business owners. And we've created a collaboration and revenue share platform to where anybody you bring into the 10X community that's not already in the 10X community, you get to be connected to that business and everything we do with them for the life cycle of that business, including if we put them into an industry or we roll them up or we sell them at some point. So we're really going to take and extend, and we've been working on this now for, I don't know, probably 15 months building out the content. So we're going to be disclosing what this is Saturday, this coming Saturday.
This Saturday. Yeah. When he
Is it
says the
this Saturday?
end of July,
Oh,
did you know that today is July 26th?
honestly, babe, I thought we had 2 weeks left.
I know you asked me yesterday what day it was.
I
and
can't
you
remember.
I think it's because you thought it was Friday and yesterday was Monday. Today's
So like
Tuesday.
tomorrow morning, we jump on the airplane at 7 a.m. We fly to LA, we pick up Grant Cardone, we fly to Tennessee, we do meetings in Tennessee, and then we fly down to Miami. I can't remember what day it is from day to day.
Why does it even matter? It's all
And it
made up
doesn't
anyway.
matter, but that's what you want. You want a tax speed. Time doesn't matter as long as you're pulling time and money forward.
That's right.
So this is the art of becoming successful, pulling time and money forward. So if you're interested in the 10X Business Advisor, then you could shoot that QR code they put up a minute ago.
And the link's also in the chat.
And the links in the chat. Or if you're interested in the 10X Health and being a franchisee or a collaborator in 10X Health, I don't know if they have another link for that, but that is also this coming Saturday in Aventura.
Mhm.
So you just need to let us know if you're a nurse, you're a doctor, you're in the you're a PA, you're in the
Phlebotomist,
you're in what space is it that we go to get all the pretty stuff done?
Botox,
No, yeah, but what do you call them? Cosmetics?
plastic surgery,
Doesn't matter.
chiropractic.
If you're chiropractic,
Is that a word? Chiropractic.
This girl went to London School of Economics. We'll have to ask Dr. Ashley if chiropractic is a word.
Is Ashley laughing right now?
I don't know. I
Probably.
can't see her. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump
we
in.
make up words around here.
Yeah, we do. That's
It's
okay. So look, tonight's worksheet is on leadership, scaling your leadership skill sets. And I'm really excited. We have our leadership boot camp coming up in August.
We have our leadership summit.
Summit. Is that in August?
Or
Or
it is
this?
yes, it is.
This.
It's in August.
When is this? This is, 13th and 14th. So we're going to talk about leadership. In fact, put that QR code up so people can see what the dates are on this thing for the leadership.
Oh yeah. Scaling and Leadership Execution Workshop is August 13th and 14th. It is in Miami, Florida. Beautiful time to be in Miami. It's gorgeous in August. We're going to be going through development strategy, how you develop your own leadership skills, how you grow so that you're able to set a model for your team. You know, sometimes I think what people are oftentimes missing is they get the marketing strategy or they get the financial strategy and they get all of these tools, but they forget, what does their communication with their team look like? You can have the greatest marketing strategy and the greatest ads platform, but if nobody wants to work with you, if you are constantly worried about not being able to retain great people because you're not confident in your own leadership skills, you are always going to struggle building your business. So this leadership execution workshop was really created to specifically focus on how do you develop this thing called leadership. And we call it the Scaling and Leadership Execution Workshop because what's funny is most people won't invest in just leadership work or in just leadership training.
Yeah.
But for us, you cannot scale if you are not a leader. Like you have no ability to be able to scale and grow your business if you cannot lead yourself and be a leader to the group of team members that you need in order to grow your business. And so this is why the scaling and leadership concept, they're married.
You guys can take that slide down now.
Yeah, you guys can take the slide
thank
down. And with that, one of the concepts that
Is there something
Brandon,
to download?
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
let's
getting right
go.
there.
Let's go. You're so organized.
Always 2 steps.
You got to have a
ahead.
good partner. Look,
It's true.
and by the way, this is your first show and you
Facts.
didn't know.
Oh yes, we're married.
We're married.
Yes.
She's also the chief operating officer of the company, but we're married. And so the deal here
And
is,
we're married.
and we're married.
Is
What'd
it
I
a
say?
but?
But we're married.
Is it
I
a
don't know.
but or
It's
is it
and or.
But it's not
It's
a but.
and. In addition to.
Uh-huh.
So look, either way, she's in charge. All right. Let's just make
Exactly.
make it clear.
So we have on these leadership or on these calls every Tuesday night, for those of you who are new, one thing that we found to be a successful action is giving you guys a worksheet to follow along to be able to understand the concepts that we're going through. And so there's something that's really actionable if you're looking to incorporate these things into your business. So we've created a worksheet. This is tonight's worksheet. You can scan it in the QR code. There's also a link in the chat if you want to download it there that we will be going over, because these concepts on this particular worksheet is something that Brandon is very passionate about. And to be honest with you, I get to witness this every single day. I've been working with Brandon now for almost 9 years. It's 9 years this summer.
9
Working with you
years.
for 9 years.
We
and
have not
I see
been a couple
him,
for 9 years.
I see him in action all day, every day. And it's been like this for almost 9 years. And what you guys don't get to see is the living embodiment of what true leadership looks like. I was even just thinking about this, not to toot your horn, but I'm gonna toot it anyway. Just today we were in this meeting and it like washes over me that business owners do not get to see what true leadership looks like as strong business owners from their peers. And if you could peel back the curtain and see that, how impactful would that be for your ability to lead your team? And I was sitting in that room with you today and just like, it's amazing what you're able to do. And you're following this format that's on this worksheet, but your ability to articulate where you're going, articulate what the vision is, have confidence in that communication, bring a team around you who equally have confidence in you, would never undermine you, because it has to be beyond Brandon. It can't just be Brandon showing up to a meeting and talking this big game, just like you can't show up to a meeting talking all this big game without a team to really execute it. But that team has to have your back. That team has to believe in you. How do you create that when you're pushing and when you're shoving and when it feels hard oftentimes? And so this worksheet is part of how you do that.
Yeah. So for me, one of the things in my career that I see business owners do is they spend a lot of energy in the concern of something or the potential concern of something. and they spend a lot of time talking about what might or what could or what potentially may go wrong. And because I know that what you think is what you say is what you do, and what you do becomes your legacy, I know that if you put your energy on something, you're going to create that reality. Because the job of the subconscious is to prove your conscious correct. So it goes out and looks for cues. That's why when you form a belief about something, a fundamental belief, you always find the evidence to support it, even if you're dead wrong. And so with business owners, as they try to grow and scale and they get under stress, they tend to formulate based on their filtering about what they believe is happening. They tend to formulate thinking, and their actions follow their thoughts, which becomes inhibitors. And the statistics show that 97.5% of all businesses under 10 years fail, that are under $100 million in size. 98.2% of all businesses under 100 million are stuck at 3 million or less. So as you start looking at these stats, 2/3 of all those businesses will fail in the first 5 years. You start looking at all those stats, you realize that there's a problem with how to get past $3 million in revenue and stay in business longer than 10 years. And then you go and you break it down to doing the research we've done, and you've got two businesses in the exact same industry. One's flourishing and killing it, the other's struggling and going out of business. If you're me and you're interviewing those two business owners, the one that's killing it is telling you all the things that are right, what they're doing to pivot, how they took advantage of a market downtrend, or how they've managed to go out and find the best people and that created unicorns and have the best relation. Like they'll point out all the reasons they're succeeding. You go talk to the one that's struggling and they'll tell you all the reasons why their business can't succeed. Mm-hmm. And I think the thing you have to understand is, I call that the tale of two businesses. I've spent my career interviewing 4,000 businesses over the course of 15 years.
Is that how long your career's been?
No, just focus on this
Are
content.
you trying to make them think that you're 30?
No, I'm just focused on this specific point.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I watched you kind of slide that in there. Did any of you guys think that he was trying to make you think that he's only, yes, see, she's nodding. Donna's nodding. Yep. Donna's with me. Anyway, you can be 30.
I mean, honestly, you could confuse me easily for being 30 because I look so young.
So true.
And so I understand. So look, here's what I'm trying to say to you is the facts don't lie. That's what I'm trying to say. So you may lie to yourself and the people around you, but the facts don't lie. Mm-hmm. So this is the importance. We have other workshops, and one of the things we teach you how to graph your success. Okay. So look, first thing you have to do with these 4 A's is when you start to feel pressure, because see, these follow the 3 T's. So the 3 T's is transaction, transition, transformative. If you're in the mode of just trying to push, and you forget where you're going to, it'd be like getting in your car and driving as fast as you can, but not remembering where you're going. So everybody would agree that seems kind of foolish.
Absolutely.
So the only reason you'd get in your car and push and drive really fast is because you're late to a destination. So in business, what you're missing is the destination. Okay. So when you're under pressure, it's because you're feeling insecure, you're feeling lost, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling underwhelmed, whatever's causing that pressure. Well, people spend to focus a lot of energy on trying to identify the pressure. And what I'm saying is the first thing you do is all you have to do is acknowledge you're under pressure, good, bad, or indifferent. You just have to acknowledge it. You know what? I can tell I'm under pressure. Okay, great. Now you have to accept it. Now you have to be like, okay, I'm under pressure. So instead of trying to spend a lot of energy polling people, what do you think? What do you think I ought to do? Why do you think things are so bad? All this bullshit. You set a target. Like, what could I do right now that can make me feel like I'm accomplishing something? And so you set that target and then you take action. So the third is act. So instead of spending energy being like I just had this conversation. We had it today in our meeting when they're like, I said, why are you guys off budget? 35%. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, well, that's one of the things we've been talking about in meetings. And I said, well, can't you just push that button and see when you're under budget, the 5 things you need to do to get back to budget? Mm-hmm. And they're like, no.
Did you see that was consistent consistent.
Yeah, I saw that.
Number was consistent until last year. It dropped by
Yeah,
25%.
yeah. So look, there's no protocol to acknowledge and accept I'm under budget and not resist it. The action. What can we do when we're under budget? What are the 3, 5, 8 things that we can take action on that we know we can immediately impact, that will drive a value, that will get us back to budget? And then when we go under budget, we attack with a 4th A. We attack that. We don't spend meetings for 3 months or 4 months. Oh, it looks like we're going to be off budget this year. Oh, being off budget's not good. What should we do when we're off budget? I don't know. Maybe
Hit the phones.
maybe. So what do you do? Okay, what's causing you to be off budget? This is what's off budget. What's our protocol to get back on budget? What are the activities we take? At what speed do we take them? Who's responsible for taking them? What are the results we're measuring against? What are the things we can pull forward? What are the programs that we can invent or iterate so that we can go get the business we're not getting? Like, once you start saturating something with your attention and you take action, you're going to be better off than drifting and hoping it finds its way to shore. So the point here is the 4 A's is acknowledge something isn't working, accept it. So in this particular case, someone would say, hey, we're off budget this month. And if we're off budget every month, we're going to be off budget for the year. Acknowledge it. Okay, accept it. You know what? Okay, it's only 1 month. Who cares? Accept it. Now, but in order to ensure we don't get off budget for the year, what action steps can we take right now? 3 to 5 things. You write them down. And then you're like, okay, let's try a couple of these things. And as you're trying them immediately, instead of talking about them, all of a sudden you find 1 or 2 that stick. What do? You attack it. And if you start doing that with all things, you got employee issues, you need to acknowledge, I'm not being a very good boss because I have employee issues. You need to accept, I don't really know what I'm doing to be a great employer. And so in order to have great employees, I got to be a great employer. So I need to develop myself. Then you develop yourself, and then you take action by developing yourself. And then you go back and you take action towards aligning your team. And then you attack it when you get team members that are aligned. And when you're starting to figure out how to do things, you go after it full bore. So this is how you move forward.
I love what Jared just put in the chat because it's something that I wanted to mention. It's a BD quote. So nice quote, Jared. It says, accept is the bridge between acknowledgement and taking action towards the right thing. And I think what could easily be misconstrued here is the step 2 of accepting isn't, oh, everybody just needs to move to acceptance that we're off budget and we're all okay. We're going to accept that, the market has changed, the employee base has changed, the supply chain has changed, everything has changed, and we're just going to accept it. That's not this idea. Very early on, the very first leadership talk I ever heard you give 9 years ago, you were talking about being a blade of grass. Do you remember this concept? Being a blade of grass instead of being like a hard surface when turbulence comes in your life, or when there's
I don't know, baby. I use so many analogies.
Do you remember this analogy at all? This doesn't ring. He essentially, and like, I just have this visual. I'm very
See, the thing is, I
learner.
make shit up as I go along, and I can't remember everything I made up.
Because if you're a person, maybe I'm gonna butcher this. I might butcher this. I haven't talked about this.
Everybody, get some popcorn and a soda. Pop.
Ready.
Here it comes.
Because for me, this really helps me. Like, this idea of acceptance isn't like, woe is me, I'm just gonna accept reality as it is. It's fighting the urge to resist something that's true and spending energy resisting it. So you're not going to fight, we're off budget for all these reasons and I'm going to get all upset. It's allowing the acceptance to happen very quickly so that you're coming to reality with it, but then very quickly pivoting into, what do I have to do in order to take the next level of action? So you're not sitting in this acceptance. And so this idea, you were at this leadership boot camp and you kept holding this paper up. And if you have a target, let's say the target is, I want to get here and I'm right here. If I'm stopping myself, and this is a hard surface, hang with me here. If I'm trying here and I'm up here and I'm coming against here, I'm going to spend all this time. No, I'm trying to go the other way because the blade of grass goes this way.
Man, this is getting good. Everybody get another bag of popcorn.
The blade of grass went this way, and this was your whole thing.
Yeah, but I think I probably did it.
You might have
more
done
coherently, but I don't remember.
No, it's not my concept. Point being, like, this is a hard surface, so I'm going to put all of this energy and all of this this unneeded emotion into like moving this hard object. Whereas if you can really move to a place of acceptance very quickly and think of yourself not as a hard surface, but as a blade of grass.
Oh my God.
Bear with me, a blade of grass, or in this case, a piece of paper, like you're able to hit the target so much faster because you just like move to acceptance and you hit.
I had to get alcohol.
You
I'm
hit the
just kidding. It's really water.
It was bad. You're right. It was
All
bad.
right, baby, you're doing awesome.
I'm gonna
You're
work
doing
this out. I'm
awesome,
gonna
yeah.
find this video and I'm gonna see if you explained
Ugh.
it better to me then than I just explained it to you now.
The-
Point being, you move to like acceptance isn't this big thing. It's like I'm accepting it in the moment. I get that this is happening, and then we're moving as quickly as possible into a level of action.
It'd be like if you threw me in the, so I was down in Cabo and I had a chance to talk for about 15
Don't
minutes
come up with a better analogy
with,
than me right
with
now.
Michael Phelps.
Oh,
We,
no.
and so we were sitting there having a drink
You're
together,
gonna make a Michael Phelps analogy.
and,
Right on a blade of grass.
and
you're
so
gonna hit him with some
I'm
Michael
trying to get
Phelps.
them off of that story. So they don't,
They love me for
they
it.
won't
This
show
is-
up again.
This is why they're going to show up next week.
They won't show up anymore with those
It's
analogies.
not true. It's not true.
So
They
it
love
was
me.
awesome. though,
They
baby.
love
No,
me.
honestly, it was awesome.
See,
I love you.
Lori
They all
says
love
we
you.
got it,
Yeah,
Natalie.
yeah.
Great job.
So I asked Phelps, what's harder? Smashing everybody else, like the number one person's records in the world? Or once you've done that and established a whole new series of records, what's harder? And he says, dude, honestly, it is so hard once you smash, because he says chasing other people's easier. But once you know everyone's chasing you, everything's harder. And so in his case, he could spend his time going, I know I'm number one. I know I've made it. I accept I'm number one. I don't care what happens after that. Or he could be like, I'm number one. I accept I'm number one, but I also accept the fact that I'm good enough to smash my own records. Now, the bridge is, what am I going to do differently than I wasn't doing today to get to where I want to be tomorrow? And then as I start to lean into it and push into it, I attack it. And so this is what we're talking about on this slide, because all of you right now, if you're honest with yourself, if you sat and went through tonight and you said your personal goals, professional goals, financial goals, if you set one goal for 2022 in December that you were committed to doing in 2022, and you've already moved off of those goals, well, then you're not serious about the goals. The goals either aren't, and this is directly what we've learned from working with Grant, the goals weren't either big enough to get your attention, the reward wasn't big enough, or you're uncertain for some reason, either you don't know if you're entitled to do it, you don't know if you're worthy of it, you don't know if you're skilled enough to do it, you don't know if you're courageous enough, resilient enough, whatever it is. Subconsciously, you're pulling yourself off target and excusing it because you don't want to face terms with the harsh reality of what you need to do to actually achieve it.
Yeah.
So
Or some people, quite honestly, aren't real enough about their financial situation or the financial impact that they could have on other people that would pull them out of apathy and into action. If all of a sudden you stopped being so selfish and thinking so small that your only responsibility on this planet in this lifetime is for you to take care of your financial situation and maybe the financial situation of your immediate family, you might work harder in order to take care of more than just yourself. What if you really could believe that you could make an impact financially on your community? What if you could make an impact on your state? What if you could make an impact on this country? But if you take low responsibility for those things, then of course you're gonna be like, oh, I'm good with having $1 million business. I was talking to one of our sales team members earlier today, and we get business owners all the time. You're like, oh, I could be $10 million, but how big is your business right now? Oh, 1 million. I'm good with 1 million. Why are you so selfish to where you're capable of doing 10 million, but you're only doing 1 million? How many people could you actually impact? And what could that impact really look like if you were stretching yourself, because your capability, you've already admitted, is there? And so
see, that
sometimes it's just
person's
getting
violating these
people-
4A's.
Absolutely. They're
They're
not
not even
acknowledging
acknowledging
their
it. Yeah.
situation. They're not taking any sort of responsibility. And for us, 10X isn't just like have this 10X impact so that Brandon and Natalie can live this glamorous lifestyle. It's like, who do we have responsibility for? when I look at the Scottsdale community, I think, man, do we have the opportunity to employ thousands of families in this community?
Yeah. And give kids that go to the universities here an opportunity to stay here and work
Absolutely.
and pursue their goals. I mean, there's a lot
And
of,
their families who are impacted by showing up to calls like this and having their family members have more confidence because they're working with us. Like,
we gave $100,000 in toys away at Christmas time here in this community last year.
and we couldn't do that if you just thought, oh, I'm good with having sold my business for $150 million and 77 times EBITDA. I'm good. Life is okay. No, it's real leadership to say, hey, I'm good, but then how do I make everybody else good? Because the reality of this world right now is everybody else isn't good. And, sometimes we don't hop on an owner's live to be all doom and gloom. Yet this 10X thing is, for some people, a much needed wake up call to say, hey, you think you're good. You're really not good, because you're
You're
being
good for you. You're
Yeah,
good for
it
you,
means
but you ain't good
nothing.
for everybody else.
Exactly. And what are you capable of?
I think, look, I think people that have a skill set or a talent, I get asked every single day by somebody that I run into that I've known, could be over Starbucks or it could just be a call, but they're like, dude, why are you still grinding? People that have known me for 30 years, they're like, dude, you're still grinding today like you were when you didn't have anything. And they're like, why? You've outsurpassed everybody that we used to hang out with or we were friends with. You've got more money than any of those people. Why are you still grinding? I'm like, because it ain't about me now.
Mhm.
Like, if you have the skill set and the talent to be able to do something, I feel a calling or an obligation to help others do it. Now, the beautiful thing about this 10X community is you get to opt in to be with us on a Tuesday evening. You get to opt in to come to a boot camp. You get to opt in to watch our stuff on social media or follow us on YouTube or watch our podcast or listen to them. You get to opt into all that and then choose to apply it. But we're doing this show every Tuesday night now. I think this is our 130th show that we've done every Tuesday night.
Mhm.
So we're going to show up. If there's one of you on here that cares enough to show up, we're going to show up and help you out. That's what we're doing. Let's get to some questions here. Who's our first question?
Samuel, let's get you unmuted. Oh, are you in the car? As long as you're parked, we're good.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Hi.
We got you.
Hi, awesome. Okay, so I've been talking to Aaron, and one of my questions is, I own a healthcare staffing company, and we have an offer to sell it currently. Year to date, we've done about 12 million in revenue, 1.4 million in bottom line. We'll do about 32 million this year with about 10% to the bottom line. And I've got an offer for 10 million in cash. I retain 25% of the business, and then we flip it again in like 36, 48 months. And I'll get another 10 to 15 million on the second exit. And honestly, like, my concern is just continue to scale the business. And if we have enough cash in reserves and enough access to capital.
Well, do you have it now? You went from 1.5 in a year to 3, right?
1.5 in a year to 3. I'm sorry.
EBITDA. What'd you do last year in revenue and EBITDA?
Yep. About 1.5. Yep.
Okay. And this year you're going to do how much?
We'll do about 3 in EBITDA this year.
Okay. And so are you making more money this year than you did last year?
Yes. My big concern is that in our industry, it's very vendor heavy, where these third-party vendors control all the jobs. And with the economy tightening a little bit, is they tend to tighten down on these jobs, and we don't have access to as many jobs as we currently do. We have access as of today, including cash on hand, of about 4.1, 4.2 million. I just don't know, like,
I just want to help everybody out. So look, on the deal side itself, they're offering you a 4 times multiple in your business, and they're paying you 3 and giving you carry on the 4th. So if you took 10 million off the table right now and you put that 10 million, you're going to pay capital gains on it most likely. So you're taking $8 million and you're going to be lucky to find a cash flow investment of 4.5% to 5%, because I know I look everywhere, and so your 8 million is going to pay you $400,000 a year versus you keeping the business. Even if it went down in revenue, you could probably still pay yourself $1 million, $1.5 million a year, and you're getting a 20% carry. And sure, you get another bite at the apple, but that's only if everything you just said doesn't happen. If everything you said happens, you're not getting another bite at the apple. So you can't count on that then. So at the end of the day, if you really believe that everything's going to tighten and you're going to have limited exposure, and now you're going to think, okay, I'm selling to somebody who can open the bandwidth up and has bigger contracts and bigger contacts and bigger this and bigger that. I mean, at the end of the day, I rarely see acquirers actually, unless it's a strategic. Is it a strategic or an equity group?
It's strategic. It's another healthcare staffing company that.
Okay, so are they much bigger than you?
220 a year. Yeah, they'll do
Huh?
220 this year.
Okay,
They'll
so
do
they have
220
access.
million this
So
year.
what they're telling you is they have access to things that you don't have access to.
Correct.
So I would rather joint venture with them. Here's the deal: you got a business right now that's paying you $300 something million a year. You got a healthy cash balance. They're offering you effectively 3 years of what you pay yourself anyway and own the business. And you know, what was the worst year you've had in the last, like what were you doing in revenue 4 or 5 years ago? What was the smallest year you've had in the last 5 years?
We started 5 years ago.
Okay, so on your first year, how much did you do?
We broke even. Second year we did 80,000. Third year we did negative 100,000. Fourth year we did negative 150,000. And then this year, for 2021 is actually kind of cool. We ended up being like negative 1.4, 1.5 billion in cash, but in AR we were $1 million to the positive. Just the cash flow hadn't caught up yet.
Well, how do you accumulate 4.5 million in the bank?
So this year in 2021, we have done, so last year we had that 1.3 catch up, and then we've done 1.6 for this year so far. And then the rest is just access to capital that we have.
Okay, so this year's your highest profitable year since you grinded for 4 years to make it profitable, and this year you're finally making $1.5 million, $2 million.
Yep.
Cash.
Yep.
So you're you know, this is what happens to business owners early stage. They finally get to where they have success and they become petrified it's all going to go away. You weren't petrified when you were losing money for 3 or 4 years. You were only trying to get to break even and then to make a little bit of money. Now you actually made money and now you're petrified it's all going to go away. So it ain't going to go away. If you stay focused, keep your head down, you know how to do it. You're doing it right. It'll get bigger. Fear shouldn't be a motivator. It's crazy. Fear is a bigger motivator for people than opportunity. Here for 4 years, you were willing to lose money and try to build a business that might have not ever won or made it. And now you finally made it and you're already thinking of giving it up because you're afraid it'll go away. But
I would agree.
You need to platform that business. Aren't you platforming it?
That's what I've been talking to Aaron about.
Yeah, don't talk anymore. Just do. Because that platform is going to get you another 1 or 2x multiples if you do decide to sell. And you won't decide to sell because you'll see how big that business opportunity is. And you'll realize that for the first time in your life, probably you're on your way to be a multimillionaire if you just keep your head down. And if your business is worth, in your 5th year, if it's worth 10 million bucks, 12 million, they're telling you, if it's worth 12 million, then in another 2 or 3 years, it could be worth 25 or 30 million. Everybody gives up early because they get afraid of what they're going to lose. But you weren't afraid of it. Just remember your mindset over the last 4 years. You weren't afraid of losing it. You're just trying to get to a destination. You got there and you're like, oh my God, now I don't want to lose it. Well, that's a scarcity mindset. How about get 10x bigger?
Awesome. Will do. Thank you.
You got it, buddy. We'll be there to help you. All right. Who's next? Josh Rogers.
Josh Rogers.
That name just rings a bell.
Uh-oh. I hope he's not going to ask about my calorie intake. For
No,
the day.
I would not do that. Hello.
Hi, Josh.
So for
That's
those
funny.
of you that don't know Josh Rogers, he's the guy that makes us get to the gym at 5:30 in the morning
It was
this
6.
morning
It was 6.
or 6, but
Oh,
usually
before
at
the sun got
6:30.
up.
And he works us
Yep.
over until we're sweaty, gobbly messes, and then he kicks us out.
Speak
of
for
the gym.
yourself on the sweaty
Oh
gobbly
yeah, I
mess.
forgot, Josh.
Yeah,
She
Natalie
doesn't
doesn't
sweat.
sweat. Natalie
It has
does not
something to
sweat.
do with the
It's a
lack of work
little-
ethic.
She
behind
glistens,
this.
but she doesn't sweat.
That's right. For those of you who are in the Scottsdale area and looking for an awesome gym, Fit6 is amazing. You should absolutely go check them out. But
I love
Josh,
the
we'll
plug.
leave it
Thank
over
you.
to you for whatever question you have.
So, first of all, you guys are awesome. I appreciate being next to you guys, having a relationship. I want to make that known. You guys are unbelievable. Simple question. I'm deep into the teamwork book. I'm deep into the importance of our people. And so we're religious about doing our wins call every single day. What's been happening on the wins call is you get some constructive criticism that comes up from other employees on the wins call. So
Mhm.
as a leader, and you want to keep the wins call positive, how do you handle that?
Yeah. So when that was happening for Cardone Ventures, we didn't used to only have, we started our wins call when we had 12 team members. And so at that time, every single team member was not just sharing their win, they were also sharing their priority for the day. So it was the win from yesterday and their priority for that day to just keep the whole team tight. And we would have moments where people would bring up, oh, I ran into this client objection, or, oh, I had this constraint yesterday. And I would never correct it in the group setting, but immediately after somebody would say something like that, I would call them and say, hey, that's not the place for this call, or that's not the place for this conversation. If we need to set up a separate meeting and we need to go through these things that are obvious business challenges that you're struggling with that we have to work through, happy to do that. But this is not the place for us to bring up any sort of issue or to solve some operational challenge.
So then do you table it and you go back to it offline, or obviously you don't sweep it under the rug, but I'm just trying to figure out, because there's good
Yeah,
teaching
so
points to some of these
it'd
items.
sound like this, which is thank you for your win. And then someone's going to throw out, but one of the things we're struggling with, or one of the things that happen, and you say, that's awesome. Remember, we're focusing on wins. If on the specific situations you're struggling with, we'll circle back in the operating conversations
Yeah.
and we'll do that. But we got to keep the wins flowing to the day, because we got lots of good things happening.
Yeah.
And you just take back control of the conversation.
Mhm. Let's connect on that after this call. That's how I would frame
Perfect.
it. So then you're not making
Yeah.
that person wrong.
Right. Because I don't want to feel like I'm not listening to them.
Right.
Yeah. But then you got to make sure you connect with them after the call.
Right.
Exactly. The follow-up.
Yeah.
Simple. I
Awesome.
appreciate it. I'm sure I'm not the only one with that question. You guys are awesome. Enjoy your trip. Be good.
Thanks,
Hey,
buddy.
we will. Are you going to be good? What are you
I'm
going to
always good.
What are you going to commit to? Brandon and I are going on our honeymoon in September. We got married last October and we decided to pull the trigger on going to France in the 3rd week of September. And so we're very focused for this I think we have 48 days till this trip on, hitting the gym every single day. And
That's one thing I'm going to be
hitting
focused
our
on, making
macros.
sure you hit that gym every single day, baby.
I'm focused on you hitting the gym every single day.
That's
Let's
good.
ask Josh, who needs to focus more
No,
on
we
hitting
don't
the
need to ask
gym
Josh.
every
He's
day.
already gone. So, all right.
Anyway, I'm
So-
sharing our goals with them. So it's for accountability. See, because Josh helps us work out. And then this was a little hack. I was talking to Josh about this a couple days ago. When you figure out in life how to set goals for yourself and actually achieve those goals, that's a skill set that you don't lose. And so as your goals change and you move from, maybe you set a professional goal and you did all of the right actions to hit that professional goal, but you're not quite seeing the same wins or progress in your personal life. One thing that I realized I was violating is I wasn't doing the same things that I know how to do to set a target and hit a target in business for the workouts and for the diet habits that I've had. So I was like, wait, what am I doing? I need an accountability partner. Like I need somebody to say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to tell you every single day if I did it or if I didn't do it. Now I've had my accountability partner for 7 days. I don't need the accountability partner any longer. I still want her, but I don't need Laura to have this continued follow up because I'm already in my pattern, because I know what motivates me and what creates success as it relates to Natalie setting goals. If for you, it's thinking about a competitor, or if it's thinking about loss, or it's thinking about opportunity, whatever that is for you in goal setting, if you're struggling in some area with actually hitting a target, what has been successful for you in the past for setting goals? And then how do you recreate that structure? Because the hard thing is actually figuring out what motivates you. Once you figure that out, just duplicate it to all of the other areas. He and I are great accountability in business because that's all we talk about. That's all we do constantly. But oftentimes you can forget to just put that same infrastructure in place for other goals that you're trying to hit.
That's right, baby. You're a goal.
So what
hitter.
accountability would you like to have with the group here?
What? For making sure I'm going to make sure you work out every single day. I'll be there watching you.
What about your workouts every day?
I'll do mine. You don't have to worry about me, baby. I do mine. No
Why
alcohol.
do you start calling me baby? Like,
baby. We just
Also,
watched Elvis,
side
by the way.
note, we
If
saw
nobody has
Elvis.
watched Elvis, you have to go watch.
you have to.
You have to go watch.
You have to see Elvis. It was spectacular. It was, Baz Luhrmann did not disappoint. It was spectacular. I'm still listening to the album every single day. It's like,
All right, so we're
big
gonna get
Elvis
back.
kick.
We're gonna get back to some questions here, but for those that just joined us midstream, we have this Saturday. If you're a business advisor, or if you want to look at how we're helping business owners or professionals, service professionals become business advisors, 10X Business Advisors. It's a franchise program. We're having our first briefing Saturday in Aventura, Florida. They'll pop up a QR code. If you're in the healthcare space and you're interested in being a 10X Health franchisee, the other one, yeah, right there. So we are doing both 10X Health and the 10X Business Advisor. It's a half day. We're walking through what we're doing, what the strategy is, and how we're building it out. So if you're in financial services, if you're a broker, if you're an insurance agent, if you're a consultant, if you're a business advisor, if you're a wealth advisor, and you want to have something that you can add value to your clients to help them grow and scale and add massive value to their business, this is a franchise program so that we can get you in your micro markets using our resources that we have been building and rolling out. We're going to display what those are. If you're in healthcare and you want to talk about being a 10X Health nurse, you want to be a franchise, you're a doctor, you're a PA, you're a healthcare professional, and you want to look at what's involved with owning a franchise, we're doing a franchise day as well on Saturday, this coming Saturday in Aventura. Details to follow. If you're interested in either of those, please let us know. And then this weekend, the previous slide, we have, or in a couple of weeks here, we have our 10X leadership scaling and leadership workshop. So this is teaching entrepreneurs, business owners, how to actually lead your teams and be an example to them so that you can accomplish your goals. And so if that workshop is something you feel would benefit you in developing yourself to be a better leader, a more impactful leader, a stronger leader, a more decisive leader, either for yourself or for your team, this workshop was created just for you. All right, let's bring on another question now. We've got, who do we got on there? You just tell us who it is. Hey, Travis.
Hey, Brandon. Hey, Natalie. How you guys doing? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
good.
buddy. How
Yes,
are
we
you doing? It's
can.
great to see you.
Awesome, man. Great to see you guys. I appreciate you guys going back to both your podcasts there. Natalie, I finally got yours hooked up. Just listen to number 68, how to respond when your team members ask for a raise. That was a really great one. Something we've been going through quite frequently with the the increase in all of the expenses in living, and our people saying, hey, the cost of living's going up. We got to get paid more for doing the same thing because it's more expensive to live. So
Totally.
Your teamwork book, that podcast, especially thanks to Lisa and Kate from being on the platforming and them guiding us to listen to that was really helpful. So appreciate that.
So awesome. I don't know if you know this, but your camera's now off. It was on and now it's off.
Probably because
There you are.
Probably because I'm looking at my notes in my phone.
Oh, God, you do you.
That's awesome.
It's all good. The memory can't remember everything, so I got to write it down and take notes.
Hey, did our podcast drop yet? Have you seen it?
It's awesome.
Okay. I thought so. You know, there's so many dropping, I can't remember, but yeah. Have you watched it? Was it good?
Oh, come on, man. I watched it as soon as it dropped.
It's awesome.
It was great. I loved it. And I shared it with every business owner I could think of. And they were blown away that we did a podcast about that. And then we went ahead and shared it with people. It's important. I wish I knew. And if we didn't know you guys, we wouldn't know. And if people
Let's put
didn't
the
know,
link. Hey,
He's working on it.
no, you're doing a great job. I like the proactivity here. Why don't you
Yeah.
put that link in there so they can click? If you're not on my the B Dawson show, the podcast, or on YouTube, yeah, let's do the YouTube link. Bottom line is, he found out we were onboarding him he went all in with us. He said, I want to do everything you guys, you know, it's a $400 and something thousand commitment. We are in our second month of the engagement, and we noticed the financial algorithms were off, and we prodded around with his permission, and found out that a long-term friend that had been running the books for 8 months had already stolen what equated to more than what he was paying us to help him. So we got that fixed, and now I have to imagine profitability in the business is up.
it's amazing when you get to keep, $30,000 a month more of net income that was rightfully the company's.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So super thankful for that. I'm super thankful we caught it now, before we're a multi-$100 million a year company when it would have been millions. One thing we're super excited about is over the past several weeks, we've been doing the 10X employee biweekly meetings. That is dynamite. Those meetings and getting the engagement with the people, and some of the initial responses from the key employees. I think we're doing it with 6 of our employees we got with the platforming.
Yep.
And the response is like, man, I knew you guys were doing a lot of stuff, and it's amazing you're sharing all this information, and I can't believe you don't hide any of the numbers and what the company makes and all this stuff. So it really opens up the doors for transparency, and we're on the same team. And it's crazy how excited they get. They're like, oh, I'm on my call right now. They're shooting texts and stuff when they're on the 10X employee call. And it's just wildly beneficial to the company and to the people. We can't do any of our stuff without the people. If we lose the people, we lose everything. So investing in the people, back to what you guys were talking about, leadership, you can invest in all these programs, but if you don't work it, it doesn't work.
So true. And thinking about, you had this great experience with 10X employee and going back and leading that program with your teams. But oftentimes we find that business owners really have an issue with that, and they don't realize that they have leadership challenges until they try to go implement something that is good for the culture, because the culture has been so attuned to negativity and challenges and restraint and constrictions. So as soon as this new great thing is in the environment, it actually pushes people away, and the real leadership issue is uncovered, but they had no idea all along because they had never actually tried to do something that was beneficial to help those employees develop, which is why we created it.
100%. I mean, choreographing, I always talk about Dancing with the Stars. There's 14 to 18 people that have been hired to get 3 contestants on the last show, or the show's no good. And most of you business owners don't have any of those people to help them. So choreographing and teach people how to sequence, how to do things and work as a team, and implement as a team, and discover as a team, and deploy as a team. It isn't something that's going to happen intuitively. It has to be created. So 10X employee, 10X owner was created to choreograph how to technically move through that with your team. So it's always awesome to hear someone talking about how it's really helping them, because you guys are all talking the same language.
Totally.
Yeah. Two last things, Brandon, and then I'll let you go. So one question is, what else do you recommend we could do to leverage finding more 10X employees? Because I'm sure you guys are fully aware, finding other great people to add to the team. It's a challenge, but we're up for it every single day. We're promoting it. We're looking for like-minded people by promoting who we have, what we're about, that other people don't have, and reaching out to those people we already have and trying to leverage that. Do you have any other advice on?
Yeah. So tell me, what would be the best attribute competency-based employee you could imagine hiring, where if you hired them this month, you'd be like, oh my gosh, that was such a great hire? What would they be doing in your business?
I think I understand the question, meaning what position would they be in?
Yeah. Yeah.
They'd be out in the field making the company more money. We need more field
Okay,
technician,
but what would they be doing?
camera inspections, servicing customer call-ins for inspections of their underground infrastructure.
Okay, so in the last 30 days, how many people, random people, have you introduced yourself to, told them what you were looking for, and asked if they knew anybody that was in that field?
Not enough.
So the first thing I'd say is, where are you going to find those people in your industry? Where are those people hanging out?
Right.
No, I'm asking.
Yeah. I mean, a lot
Like-
of people are in the industry. I mean, that's where almost 100% of our company is from now, is word of mouth. Who else do you know? Who else do they know? Who else do they know? Other like-minded people. They're hanging out with those.
And how long would it take you to train somebody to do what you do?
I mean, we have people that have been with the company 3 months that are already fully trained.
Yeah. So if I was to tell you you're on a national radio show right now, give me your best promote in 20 seconds.
If I was on the show right now, give me the best.
Yeah,
promote.
you are. So what's your best? Give me 20 seconds, your best promote.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Hey, this is Travis with Savian Sons. We specialize in underground infrastructure. We're looking for amazing people that are looking for amazing opportunities, that want to do something different than they're doing now, working with amazing people where the sky's the limit. Reach out to us. And that's about the best I got right now, Brandon.
Yeah. So
That was pretty good.
That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
You use
that was pretty
amazing. 130 of your words was amazing. So
That's great. Well, he's looking for amazing
I
people.
know, but she was looking for you because I call you amazing.
That's
so,
amazing.
So look, dude, how much can I make if I'm really good at doing that?
How much do you want to make, Brandon?
No, but I'm asking you, if I'm a tech and I'm working for you, how much can I make?
I mean, we have tech starting at $30 an hour, and we have people making up to $40, $50 an hour. And
So what is that a year?
I mean, we're working up to 100 hours a week. I mean, there's people making into the strong 6 figures plus commission base. We offer everybody.
So okay, what would be the most I could make doing that right now if I was pretty good at it? A couple hundred,
If
150?
you say that one more time.
150, 200?
Yeah, I would say.
So this is your promote. Hey, I'm Brandon Dawson here. We're doing some awesome, innovative stuff. It's using technology to an old school application. I can train people to do it in less than 3 to 4 months. You would have an opportunity to make between $120,000 and $180,000 a year. If no one's showing you how to do that right now, doing something fun, exciting, innovative, click this link and let me show you what the opportunity is. If you're working in this community and you're dedicated to your success, the success of your family, and you want to make a strong living and do something fun, hit this link. I'm going to show you exactly what it is. You should have a short video and here's the cool shit that we get to do. And then click this if it's something you're interested in. And you should be running an event in your business every single, maybe every 2 weeks on a Tuesday, and it should always be constant, where you're recruiting new people coming out of school and stuff. And remember, the people that are in your town aren't the people that are in colleges doing technical stuff that want to move back to your town. So you got to put yourself outside your local market and put your message outside your local market, so that you can, instead of just talking to the local schools and stuff, talk to the regional schools and stuff. Like, where did kids go from your town to go to college that they're going to come back to your town or go to a specialty school? Like, go find people and bring them into your influence. You got to tell people what the opportunity is, how much money they can make.
Yeah, you're right. That's important. I mean, there was a couple people on that note that approached me, hey, I had people approach me that said I could make up to $50 an hour and I'm only making 34 an hour here. And I'm like, why didn't you take the opportunity? Like, well, I love it here. Well, why else? Right. Using from Natalie's book. Why else do you want to stay here? Well, the same reason I left more money to come here for less money, because of the environment, the value of the culture exceeded price.
Yeah. Now, what's the best question you could ask after you've established that? What's the single best question you can ask?
I don't know.
If you could make the $50 an hour and be here, what would you be willing to invest to be able to do that?
Right.
See, because now I'm going to close them. And then when they go, I don't know, how can I do that? You're going to say, I'm going to show you, because people that can actually help me get clients and do the business are worth $50 an hour. People that just do the business can make 30, $35 an hour. If I show you how to get referrals and go get new clients, would you be willing to do whatever it takes to do that? If you could hit $50 an hour. Now you're either being sold or you're selling.
Sign me up.
Sign me up. We're going to find that podcast. I know he's looking for it. And in the mix of all my remarkable shows,
Yeah, Brandon, that last one I wanted to share with you is a win. I'm not sure if when Ralph was down there doing that podcast with you, if we had closed on that.
I was doing it with Ralph. Yeah.
First, on that first business acquisition yet or not. But we did close on that. I think the beginning of this.
Boom.
Yeah, and that was a $500,000 business acquisition, and I believe they're on track to do 2.5
I
this
thought
year.
we were going to partner. I thought we were going to partner on that.
Yeah, I guess greed got in the way, Brandon.
God damn you guys.
No, but we did work with, I think Ralph was working with Todd on that with 10X buy sell. You know, the main takeaway.
Tanner. Yep.
Tanner.
Yep. Good.
Tanner. I remember having this conversation, you know, on my end when Ralph approached me, right? He was in his lane per se, doing the business acquisition. You know, he approached me, he said, Trav, we're barely keeping the wheels on Savvy & Sons here, taking it to the next level here. Am I out of my mind looking at a business acquisition to buy another company when like we're trying to grow and scale and we're doing all this stuff with Cardone Ventures and everything? And like, now I'm looking at doing this whole other thing and it didn't even seem realistic or possible. As soon as he got off the first phone call with Tanner with 10X buy sell, he's like, dude, we're doing it. We're going all the way. This guy's amazing. These guys are amazing. I'm like, we've been with him since 2017 when we were doing 350 grand a year when it was just Ralph and I, and it never ceases to amaze us with the Cardone. And here we are a couple of months later, made the acquisition, doing what we want to do with another company, merging all the, you know, all the metrics and everything that we learned with Cardone. And it's just amazing because, I mean.
Yeah, now you're going to do how much revenue?
I mean, that company's on track to do 2.5.
But combined now, as an enterprise, what are you going to do now this year?
10.5.
Yeah, 10.5 million from 300 and something thousand. This is, look, man, it's in front of everybody. And the one thing working with us is that we're not going to lead you astray. We're going to guide you into making the best decisions, make sure it's organized, structured right. And let's go. It's good. Always good catching up. They dropped the podcast that I did with your brother, telling the story in the link. Anybody that wants to, if you're not subscribing to Natalie's and my podcast, you need to.
Are you going to do the same pitch for my podcast?
I just said Natalie's and mine.
I know. Was that was your pitch? I did a really nice pitch for yours.
Yeah, at Brandon M. Dawson is mine, and Natalie's is what?
Stop it.
I don't remember.
Do you remember what it's called?
Natalie Workman Show.
Workwoman.
Thank you. Brandon and I used to have this podcast we co-hosted together, and every single start of the show was me asking Brandon to remember what the name of the show was, and he could just never remember it. So this was a throwback to 3 years ago. Guys, what a great Tuesday night. I just love being
awesome
online
night.
with all of you
Is
guys.
this time up already?
It's 6:07.
Oh, wow.
You're late to your dinner.
So we didn't get a chance to answer everybody's questions. We're so sorry about that. We'll make sure, take a picture with your cell phone over there, and let's remember that for next Tuesday. And so look, we really appreciate all of you participating with us. This is why we do the show. We love the engagement. We love the stories, the wins. Sometimes we get to do a little mental sparring on here. I love my co-host. She's amazing. The Miss Natalie Dawson.
I'm Mrs. now.
See, I thought the show was called the Work Dawson Show.
The Work Dawson
but
Show.
The
Workson Show.
It just didn't fit. So
doesn't have a nice ring to it.
All right, everybody. Look, have a wonderful. Our team's going to stay on here to answer any questions. Hopefully, some of you will be opting in to come see us for the 10X Health or for the 10X Business Advisor, and or come to our leadership program. It's my heart and soul into that program.
It is.
It's worth every moment of time you can invest in it if you're serious about being big. So, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Natalie, and we'll see you next Tuesday evening.
The whole purpose of this show is to engage with business owners and be able to answer questions for people that will give them some insight and perspective on how to grow and scale a business. Not only leadership, but real life examples. This is the golden moment. I would do business with you right now.